Hello and welcome to Joy News Desk with me, Mamisi Nyamiche Thompson. Coming up, government in crisis talks with educational institutions abroad as 700 million Ghana cedis scholarship debt endangers students' learning.
How about this? It's over 700 million Ghana cedis in debt that we have to find money to pay.
You mean this from a scholarship?
Yes, the debt that I have inherited as minister.
Just the scholarship secretariat?
Just the scholarship secretariat. There is a debt.
How much is that?
700 million Ghana cedis.
700 million cedis.
Also coming up, Savannah Regional Minister destroys about 100 homes of illegal miners and seizes 8 excavators. Also, Ghana performs its first cardiac ablation procedure to correct irregular heartbeats.
Particular risk factors or any particular lifestyle choices, but they're born with it. And usually, what is sort of quoted is that about 15% of the population.
These and more coming up with me, Mamisi Nyamiche Thompson, plus business updates. Please stay, don't go away.
I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. Like, I don't.
Well, let's start from the Savannah region, and Savannah Regional Minister Salisu Bir Arwoodbi, alongside the Regional Police Command, has led a crackdown on illegal mining at Tuntumba in the Bole district, destroying over 100 homes and properties. 8 excavators were also seized as illegal miners fled the scene. The minister warned that anyone found mining without a license will face prosecution, with a focus on those found in operations involving heavy machinery that pollutes the Black and White Volta rivers. He urged the Minerals Commission to issue group licensing to help curb illegal mining.
It's actually closer to the Yonkamba stream. The Yonkamba stream links to the Black Volta, and it's around the Tuntumba territory of the Central Gunja and that of Bole district jurisdiction. So currently, as we speak, where we are currently sited is within the Central Gunja district assembly per the map. And this illicit illegal mining activity is actually ongoing. Of course, we picked the intel with the support of the Security Command. We got up as early as 12 from wherever we are coming from, and we entered here in the wee hours of this morning, around 4 a.m. that we've been in this place. And thank God, we've been able to get about 8 of the machines immobilized as at now. We are making arrangements to pick them back to a certain common place. But some of the operators, after they saw the security, they were able to run away, but we are still pursuing them. And this is not the only operation that we are actually doing. Many others will come. The fact is that illegal mining is something that is abhorred, and we shall not allow anything of this sort to happen within our territory. The government supports mining, but if you want to do mining, you must go and get appropriate licenses, use the appropriate procedure to be able to do mining. But if you are engaged in illegal mining of any sort, that is actually a killer, most especially the use of the said heavy metals in the work that they are actually engaged in. So this is what my security command have been supporting me. And I must say that they've been very helpful. This is not the first operation. We've carried a series of operations, and at all times their predictions are always on point. They're able to pinpoint wherever we can get the men who are doing the illegal work, and we are able to immobilize their equipment and get some of them arrested. So this is work in progress. The virtue of the fact that His Excellency John Mahama says that we must definitely put the necessary impetus to getting these people arrested. We are on course, and we are working on that.
Okay.
Prosecution after the appropriate interrogation. If the security officers screen them and realize that no, they might be, let's say, farmers and not illegal miners, or they might be having another reason why they are within this area, they may be left to go. But if indeed there's any link or evidence to link them, whether it is direct evidence that we are having with them or circumstantial evidence based on what we have seen, obviously they will have to appropriately be prosecuted. What happens is that the operators themselves may be the small fishes who are errand boys who have been sent by some people sitting somewhere, and we are taking all the necessary leads to that effect. And of course, if indeed the small fishes come and confess, they can have a way that we can possibly see to getting the big fishes and let some of the small fishes a little bit loose or with minimal punishment for whatever they are doing. But our aim is actually the financiers of this heavy duty equipment. To carry a machine like this excavator by a low bed from wherever you are having it located to this place is a huge cost. And some of the operators cannot bear this cost. Of course, there are big wigs somewhere. And our task is to identify not just the operators, but the big wigs who are financing and supporting this activity. And
However, no arrests have been made at Tuntumba as the illegal miners, including Chinese nationals, have fled the scene. Let's speak to the regional minister, Salisu Bir Awurbi Isifo Esquire, on the matter. We're grateful for your time, Honorable.
I was grateful too.
Right. So this activity that you undertook, how long have the illegal miners been operating in Tuntumba?
In fact, when we went on the ground, we saw old dugout sites, and we also saw new dugout sites. And the last time, about 2 months ago, I led a team to operate at the Tuntumba there. When I went, there were dugout sites. We were told that there were some machines there, but we could not get the machines as at that time. I'm sure they might have had the intel of a team coming there, possibly, and they decided to either hide or relocate. But we had another hint. We again mobilized and tracked yesterday. And when we went, the Tuntumba site, which was actually over 3-4 years that we've heard of it, but I had not been able to go there until I went the last time. We saw that there are also new sites that they are again now. So this, together with the old site, was where we raided yesterday. And in fact, we took off in the middle time the day before and got to Tuntumba around dawn 4 a.m. yesterday and started the operations within that corridor. There we were able to impound about 8 excavators at different sites over there. And we also saw some of their setups that were just beginning to start the operation. And we also realized the blockade of the Bakamba River stream has been done for well over some time now. And this also included the very, peasant, small-scale miners who are taken with a cutlass, axe, stick axe, and the rest, and doing some level of mining, albeit very crude and very big. We also saw the excavator operated ownership site.
All right, so what was the extent of destruction when you got there? What was the extent of destruction? Do we even know those behind it, or just a few laborers who are there working?
In fact, the extent of destruction is massive. The laborers who were there, they had bolted And in fact, the Tuntumba community can best be set up as best described as a Galamsey community that was set up. So when we went there, in fact, despite it being at the dawn, the community that all ran away, can't see anybody in the various shelters which they provided. And the shelters there were principally rubber poly materials with some ramshackle with hats put up, not the proper construction of brick, sand, and concrete that we know of, either proper building materials or the traditional mud houses which are built in our locality. This is not one of them. This is what had happened, and this led to the impounding of the third machine. As I'm speaking, some of the excavator machines are being moved out of sight, and the process is actually ongoing. But I must say that even on the Black Volta River, the Tamfang machines have been found. We went there too after some series of intelligence gathering. But when we went, the challenge was the availability of other speed boats as part of the team to be able to move on the river, cross the river to the opposing side of it.
All right. So
it is true that the entirety of the Black Water in the Sabah area is actually in the jurisdiction of Ghana, but very proximate to the Burkina Faso border. And this area too, we are monitoring and patrolling, but the capacity of the water has been compromised.
Well, Mr. Isifu, let's be brief because of our time. So from hence, what's going to happen moving forward? We understand no arrests have been made yet, but does it end there, or you're going to do more?
Undercover operations with actually the machine. Possibly there may be people who will come up to claim ownership of them. That will also give us some clue. If even they don't come, our intel is gathering people behind the said machines and people who are financing the various small or little or bigger scale miners on the ground. And we are taking all intelligence and we shall continue that exercise. I know it is quite expensive to maintain, but it is a worthy cause that we must do it at all costs.
All right, thank you very much.
The President is supporting us.
All right.
Heavily, we discharge this duty.
Thank you so much, Mr. Isifu, Savannah Regional Minister there, cracking down on illegal miners. Well, moving on, we understand that the Kusasi chief in the Ashanti region, Abdul Malik Azembe, has been allegedly shot and killed by unknown assailants at his residence in Asawase. The incident occurred on the night of Tuesday near the Asawase F-Line Community Center. According to eyewitnesses' accounts, two men arrived on a motorbike around 8:40 p.m., with one of them reportedly wielding an AK-47 rifle. The gunman is said to have opened fire on the chief before both assailants fled the scene. Azembe, who was enskined as Kadinaba just 3 months ago, was initially rushed to the Menchia District Hospital and later transferred to the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The deceased also served as the Kadi Divisional Area Chief in the Binduri district of the Upper East region. Ashanti Regional Police Commander DCOP Emmanuel Tekojo visited the bereaved family later in the evening and assured them of thorough investigations to bring the perpetrators to justice. There's a statement released by the Ghana Police Service, and the statement is on your screen now, and as you can see, the Ashanti Regional Police Command has commenced investigations into the shooting incident that occurred on Monday evening at Asawase F-Line, a suburb of the Ashanti region. According to the police, preliminary investigation indicates that the victim, a middle-aged man, was fatally shot by two unidentified assailants. The suspects, each riding on a motorbike, reportedly approached the victim and opened fire at close range before fleeing the scene. The victim was initially rushed to the Mensah District Hospital and later referred to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, where he was unfortunately pronounced dead. His body has since been deposited at the Ebenezer Mortuary in Tafo for autopsy. In response to the incident, the Ashanti Regional Police Commander, DCOP Emmanuel Tekujo, the Regional Crime Officer ACP Ebenezer Boyo, and a team of officers visited the crime scene. And that's the update from the police there. It also says that during the inspection, 2 empty shells suspected to be from an AK-47 assault rifle were recovered and documented. Now, the regional police commander assures the public that every effort is being made to identify and apprehend the perpetrators of the heinous crime, and is urging the public to remain calm and wishes to call on anyone with relevant information to contact the nearest station or call emergency lines 191, 18555 and 112. And that's been signed by the Superintendent of Police, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Godwin Ahianyo, who is also the Public Affairs Head of the Ashanti Regional Police. My colleague Nana Boachi-Yadom is there live for us. Nana, what more can you report on this incident?
We are live at the Asawase F line where the unfortunate incident occurred last night at around 8 p.m. where some 2 assailants unfortunately shot the Kusasi chief to his unfortunate death. This individual that we are talking about is apparently the deputy Kusasi chief of the Ashanti region. And unfortunately, yesterday, while making rounds around the F-line area where his residence is, he met 2 individuals on a motorbike. One who suspected to have an AK-47 rifle who released gunshots on him. And then he was sent to the Mensah Hospital, later sent to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital where he was pronounced dead. This morning, we have some youth and other sympathizers who've gathered at a school park over here just around the F-line area where mourners and then other supporters of this person who is no more have gathered to pay sympathy and tribute to the family. We've had the Interior Minister have already released a statement condemning the incident and then wishing the family well. We've had the Ghana Police Service who've been here since morning. Huge security, I must say, from the very junction that leads you into this very place. There's huge security guarding the area to make sure that things do not escalate, because there's clear tension among the youth who do not seem to be happy with what has transpired overnight. And also we've had the Ghana Police Service, just as I indicated earlier, coming to give assurance that investigations are underway. They've made some form of arrest so far. They've not made any form of arrest so far, but then they've assured the family that they are going to bring the perpetrators to book. They're still guarding the area to make sure that they keep the place very, very safe. You can see from the camera shots, we pan a little bit for you to have a clear shot of what is happening over here. There's clear meeting ongoing by family members, relatives who've gathered here. Some of them unhappy. The family are in corridors, engaging with each other and then making sure that they sympathize with each other. I have with me the chairman of the Kusasi Chiefs Association in the Ashanti region here with me, and he's going to tell us what transpired so far. This individual, who is no more, is known to be the deputy Kusasi chief of the Ashanti region. Yes. You happen to be his deputy as well, and you also are the chairman. You're the chairman of the Ashanti Regional Kusasi Chiefs Association. Who is this person that we're talking about, and what led to his unfortunate death yesterday?
He is the deputy he's the deputy Kusasi chief of Ashanti region, but because of the health issue of the Kusasi chief in the Ashanti region now, and he's control of everything. So he's seen to be the Kusasi chief of Ashanti region. And then what happened yesterday is rather unfortunate. In fact, it's unexpected event which happened. We don't know. know how to describe it. It's unexpected, and it's just a big blow to the Kusasi community here and back home. In fact, it's very, very painful.
We're looking at the fact that he's the Kusasi chief, he's taking over from the actual chief who's not doing well and getting shot. How does this come to the Kusasi people in the Ashanti region?
It's very painful. It's very painful, but it's very painful. So that's why we are pleading to the securities concerned, and then the Minister of Interior, since he has already released a statement, they should do all that they can do to let us have justice, because it has ever happened. This is about 6 times that these people have ambushed and killed our people down here. So we are seeking for proper justice. The police will say they are doing the investigation, but up to now we are not hearing those things that has happened. We are not hearing anything. But this time around, in fact, we are just calming down the youth, because it had it not been that, but now they would have even take some revenge. But we are pleading with them. But what they are saying is that if the proper investigation is not done and then proper justice is not administered, then meaning there will be revenge. Yes, they will take the law into their own hands and do what they are.
That should not be said, but then we hope that the police would continue with their investigation and then bring the perpetrators to book. How swift are you looking at this investigation process? How swift do you want the police to commence and then end their investigation so that justice can be served?
We are willing to cooperate. Any little information that we get, we will make sure that we give it to the police. We will put our ears down and pick any intelligence, anything that will come across will be given to the police. And we are pleading with the police to do everything fast, to fast track everything. There shouldn't be a delay, because the way tension is rising, if there is a delay, then something must go out of hands. So we are pleading to the police, and then the interior is even the president. They should put their foot down and do what they must do for justice to be administered at the right time. If not, things will escalate. And we, the Kusasi community in the Ashanti region, we may not be able to control.
I know that tension is among the youth from my engagement with some of them. Yes. But this individual that we are talking about, has he been part of the mediation process with the Asantini with regards to the Boko conflict? Has he been part of it?
Yes, he's been part of it. Because he's been the chief here. He has been hosting Bogunaba and his entourage. They come to Manchia for the mediation, and he has been all the time. He has been going with Bogunaba. He has been part of the mediation. He's part of the mediation, yes. And then more, he's not only the chief in Asante region here. About less than 3 months ago, he was in skin as the Cardinaba of the Boko, one of the Kusak traditional area. That's Kwad. So he was in skin there as a divisional chief. So in fact, it's a big blow to we the chiefs here, and then we the Kusa community here, and then back at home.
Okay, what's your name?
Naba Williams Somdego.
Thank you very much. And then he happens to be the chairman of the Kusasi Chiefs Association in the Ashanti region. He tells me that this individual who unfortunately met his untimely death yesterday has been part of the mediation process led by the Asantini with regards to the Boko conflict issues at hand. He's talked about how tension is rising among the youth here, which I have clearly seen. Upon my entry into the community, I saw a number of people who gathered not so happy about what has happened, and they are calling for the police to fasten their investigation process, and he has reiterated that clearly. So far, we've had the municipal chief executive who've come here to assure them that he's also going to liaise with the police to make sure that whatever investigation process or for how to come about with the investigation process, they are going to make sure that it comes up quickly. He has also engaged with the family, the children, and other relevant individuals who matter in this conversation. The Interior Minister's statement has been clear, the police statement has been clear, and so far, this is where we are. Investigations are currently ongoing. Over to you, Mamisi.
President, so those who know him, why anybody would want to kill the Kusasi chief? Nana would want to know whether there's been... Yeah. Can you hear me?
Well, Mami, I say that has been asked some time ago. I don't have the COSASI chairman here with me anymore, but then they tried to tell us that it might be all part of the mediation process, which we do not want to state clearly because
we cannot confirm that.
Would have to come from the investigative bodies.
Right.
Yes.
But those around, could we know who he was? Could they tell us what they know of him?
Yeah, so just as the chairman had indicated, he happens to be the deputy COSASI chief of the Ashanti region. And for over 10 years now, he has taken over from the substantive chief himself, who hasn't been feeling well. And so when it comes to everything COSASI, when it even comes to major negotiation processes, he has been leading that. Right. 3 months ago, he was installed as the Kadi chief in the Boku area. And so he's no other person but one very, very relevant individual.
Seems that Nana Boachi's line is frozen there, but as and when we get more on this story, we'll be bringing you updates on that. Unfortunately, gone by is COSASI chief has been shot, and you saw in your on your screens people who have visited his home to share their condolences with family and friends. The Interior Minister has also been condemning the incident, as well as the police starting investigations into the incident. We'll get more and get back to you with the very latest. Meanwhile, the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat is racing against time, conducting emergency negotiations with international academic institutions to prevent the mass expulsion of Ghanaian students following the discovery of a staggering 700 million Ghana cedi debt. Youth Employment and Empowerment Minister George Opariado, describing the situation as a bad mess, revealed on Joy News PM Express that the unpaid arrears accumulated before the current administration took over have left hundreds of students stranded and Ghana's international academic reputation at risk. With threats increasing from institutions worldwide, the Secretariat is now on a relentless mission to renegotiate terms and buy time as government works to mobilize funds to rescue students.
Exchange rates. The current bill that I have at the school is over 700 million Ghana cedis in debt that we have to find money to pay.
You mean this from the scholarship?
Yes, the debt that I have inherited as minister.
Just the scholarship secretariat?
Just the scholarship secretariat. There is a debt.
How much is that?
700 million Ghana cedis.
700 million cedis?
Yes.
Of fees that you haven't paid
that we've not paid
across the world. 700 million.
700.
That's 300 million shy of a billion cedis.
Exactly. That is the debt we inherited. And so my registrar now has to go around the world and negotiate with schools. And that is what we've been undertaking in the last 4 or 5 months. I keep sending him, go here, because you keep getting threats all over the world. We are going to sack your students. So almost every time he's out there pleading, renegotiating how much we can afford, how much we can pay. And it's become the norm because that is what we inherited. Bad mess.
Do you have the money to pay? 700 million cedis?
It involves Ghanaian students. It involves lives. It involves our citizens. And so we must find the money to pay.
Because
the Chief of Staff has been very helpful. The Minister of Finance, the Chief of Staff, we are working closely to be able to offset, because it affects Ghana's international reputation as well. And so, yes, we will pay, but we'll have to negotiate. We don't have 700 million in cash. So what we are doing is we are negotiating with the various institutions, the various schools across the world. And some have been very understanding, and they know that we're a new government that have come in, we inherited these problems, and so we are aligning and fixing them gradually.
In the last few weeks, some of the students have been complaining. Further, some of the schools have written to them that they would have to leave their institutions. And if you're no longer schooling, you probably have to be sent back home.
Evans, you can't blame this government for the mess we inherited. And most of these things have been outstanding for a year or two. And you see, we are also doing an audit of the true states. Because a lot of the students have opted out. We held a meeting with some of them in London and gave them some options. And a lot of them...
What options?
I can't discuss that here. But
those students already are there. They are
so we spoke to them, and a lot of them decided that okay, because a lot of it is in their stipends. A lot of the debts goes. So somebody has finished school 2 years, the government still owes him or her stipends, which was not paid. But per the law, once you finish, you must come back home. And a lot of them wants to remain there. You know, they have this no objection letter they request for to be able to work for a year or two to gain experience, which should not be the norm. It's against the act. It's against they didn't have an act, but more or less a charter that they were using to operate. It's against it. But it was being done for them. And so we met some of them and asked that, is it that you want to stay? Because if you finish, you must come back. If I pay your fees, you must come back and help. So is it that you want to stay? If you are going to stay, then I'm not going to pay your stipends.
Well, let's engage Adam Agbana. He's a member of the Education Committee. Adam, you're grateful for your time on our desk.
And good morning to all out.
Yes. Does the committee know about this debt accrued by the Secretariat?
Yes, we are aware that over the last couple of years, many Ghanaian students received award letters, but the Scholarship Secretariat failed to pay their fee for them. And so we know we are owing fees in such huge magnitude as the minister said. Indeed, some students have also reaching to some of us personally to complain about their situations. And so we are aware.
So if this debt predates the current administration, what steps were taken during the transition period to assess and also address this outstanding situation?
Well, the transition from one government to another is not limited to that short period of transition before the handing over. We are still in a period of transition for many of the institutions, because every now and then, many institutions are uncovering new stuff, things that are very new to them. There are people who have walked to the registrar of scholarships with letters claiming that they have been awarded scholarships. Sometimes the check is done and we realize that the due processes were not followed. And so in the period of transition, we are still uncovering a lot of things. But while doing all of this, the most important thing for us is the fact that we are dealing with Ghanaian students. And so we want to protect them. Destinies are involved. The future of many people are involved in this. And so, however, or whatever governments can do to find a lasting solution to the problem, I know our government is committed to that. And that's what the Minister, George Oparado, has said. They have been working around the clock to find a solution to this challenge. But again, that is why some of us are very passionate about the Ghana Scholarships Authority Bill, because the fact that the administration of scholarship currently lacks a legislative backing, it allowed for people to use their discretionary powers, and in most instances, they abuse it. The last 4 years.
So, Mr. Agbana, let me ask you this. The minister says that the registrar is on to some institutions to renegotiate the terms. Do we know the update on that?
Yes, I know the minister has been to a number of institutions in the UK and other parts of the world. Some institutions, I am told, have agreed to give some more time to the scholarship secretariat to be able to settle the debt. But the details of specific institutions that have agreed, I may have to check on the scholarship secretariat. But I know it's FIFT, UK, and some other parts of the world has gotten us some favorable terms. There are some institutions that even agreed for the briefing we had. Some institutions even agreed that with just letter of assurance from the scholarship secretariat, they were prepared to allow our students to finish their semesters or finish their academic year while waiting for the government to make the payment. So that is refreshing. At least we know we have been able to save the future and the education of hundreds of our students.
Well, the mid-budget review is coming up, I think, somewhere next week. Is there any arrangement?
This week, actually. That's tomorrow.
Week? Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Is the finance minister making any arrangements to offset this debt and also pay the stipends of students, knowing that they've already paid first-year university students here in the country? There must be some arrangements he's made to offset that of international students as well.
Well, I cannot speak for the finance minister, but knowing him and looking at the posture of the government, they are investing in the right places. They are paying they are making expenses that are very, very necessary. And I know the government prioritizes education and the future of our young people. So I will not be surprised if some allocations are made tomorrow's year budget for them. But like I said, I'm not privy to the budget. I cannot speak to the finance minister, but I know that plans are underway to resolve the current unpaid scholarship funds challenge. All
right. Thank you so much, Adam Agbana. He's a member of the Education Committee in Parliament. And at this juncture, we'll take a break. When we return, we have more for you.
Welcome back to Business here on Joy News today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Government is taking some drastic measures to help deal with Treasury auction shortfalls to whip up interest for the upcoming domestic bond issuance. This was contained in its debt and expenditure plan submitted to the International Monetary Fund. Judge Wiafe has more.
Over the past months has been struggling to raise the targeted amount anytime it goes to the auction market for its treasury bills. Now that has got it thinking in terms of exploring several avenues to address the challenge. One of them is looking at opening up the treasury auction possibly to non-residents to participate. This is because the current laws bar foreigners from participating in government papers under 2 years. Government in the document to the IMF is also looking at ways to whip up interest, possibly in the issuance of the 2-year bond later this year or in 2026. Another thing that Joy Business is picking up is whether to put some pressure on the Bank of Ghana to drop its policy rate from the current 28% by some significant margin, a move that could also help push some interest in government papers and the treasury bills. The Finance Ministry is moving fast on this because the spending needs are expected to pick up strongly from next year and in 2027, as a lot of debts will mature and due for payment.
Now, away from that, the New Generation Investment Services managers of the Enidaso Mutual Fund is confident of a positive economic outlook for 2025. Following the recent ease in economic and inflationary pressures, the investment fund witnessed a positive increase in shares, growing by 13.26% for 2024. Despite recording a reduction in investment inflows, the company is anticipating a continuous positive trajectory for the year with prudent fiscal measures from the government. Emmanuel Bright Kweku was at the annual general meeting of the shareholders of the fund and filed this report.
Economic growth in the last 2 years hit a snag, impacting the financial investment sector. Following a significant economic recovery, the financial sector is bouncing back from the external shock. The Enidaso Mutual Fund, a local investment package of the New Generation Investment Services, is seeing significant gains. Eric Brobe is the vice chair of Enidaso Mutual Fund.
Compared to what happened the previous year, this year the outlook was very bright. We made a lot of gains. Our share value for the year had appreciated for about 13.6%. Now, even now, as we speak, the share value has improved up to 1.4, which is substantial. In the future fund, you don't see the outcome straight away. It's sort of creeping. So any little challenge that the economy will face will have an impact on that.
Despite the positive gains, the fund's gross investment income saw a reduction of 17.31%, declining from 553,837 cedis in 2023 to 457,916 cedis in 2024. This decrease was essentially influenced by marginal decreases in interest rates on money market instruments, which reduced asset returns. Fund manager of New Generation Investment Services, Edward Asamoah, says management is adopting strategies to diversify and secure the inflows in alternative instruments.
The yield that we were expecting, or the return we were expecting from it in terms of the coupons was reduced in terms of rate from say 25 to about 10%. So it's impacted the fund investment income negatively, and it's going to continue because it has been structured in such a way that the haircut or the domestic debt exchange, it will take about 5 to 7 years. So it means that those investments in that sector or in that bond, the return will keep reducing till it matures. So if we don't strategize to diversify to other areas, the impact of it will be felt.
That's all for business here on Newsdesk. My name is Winston Taki. We have more news on myjoyonline.com. Back to Mami for the rest of the bulletin.
Thank you, Winston, for the business update. Well, Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Piaget has firmly rejected her inclusion in Ghana's reconstituted parliamentary delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament. Minority Leader Alexander Afenyomarkin's name was removed from the list despite being nominated by the minority. However, in a petition to the Speaker, the Deputy Minority Leader stated that she was neither consulted nor did she give her consent to be named in the list. We'll bring you details of her letter shortly, but first, here's the Speaker's earlier ruling on the matter.
If he defies the decision of the House and goes there to say try to stand, and I can assure you that will be no problem for me. I've been leader for many years. I have never accepted to a member of ECOWAS Parliament or Pan-African Parliament. For the good reason that as a leader, you must create opportunities for your followers. And I did. And many of our members here have benefited from that. And so I will accept the amendment and urge you to vote according to that amendment, that the composition of Ghana's delegation to the Community Parliament of ECOWAS be made of the following: Honorable George Kweku Ricketts Hagan, leader. Honorable Emmanuel Kwesi Bejira, member. Honorable Ladi Ayi Ayamba, member. Honorable Eric Affle, member. Honorable Dominic Napari, member. Honorable Patricia Apieje, member. Honorable Kwame Anyimedu Entry, member. Honorable Brian Achampong, member. And Honorable Millicent Yeboah Amankwa, observer.
Well, let's delve into Patricia Piaget's letter on your screen just about now. And the letter says, basically, Madam Patricia has rejected her inclusion in Ghana's new ECOWAS Parliament delegation, saying she wasn't consulted and did not consent. She made it clear she has no interest in replacing Minority Leader Afenyomarkin and fears the move could create division. She also reminded the Speaker that leadership had earlier agreed that Mr. Makin would stay on the delegation, so the sudden change, especially without notice, is troubling. Beyond procedure, she believes the move breaks ECOWAS rules, which gives members a 4-year term unless legally ended. Well, she, however, defended Mr. Makin's position, noting he was sworn in and elected Deputy Speaker, so his mandate stands. Since he hasn't resigned, been removed or disqualified, she says there's no lawful basis for replacing him, and she's asking Parliament to reverse the decision, withdraw her name, and stop any communication of her nomination to ECOWAS. And still on parliamentary issues, President John Mahama has assured Ghanaians that his administration will not exploit the NDC's 2/3 majority in Parliament, but will instead focus on building consensus across the political divide. He spoke during an interaction with a delegation from the Open Society Foundations at the Jubilee House.
So I set up a National Constitutional Review Committee, which will present its report in August. And when it does, we need to go through the process of validating and then beginning to implement the recommendations that they will make. Our Constitution has entrenched and unentrenched clauses. With unentrenched clauses, you just need parliamentary approval. Happily, we have a very overwhelming majority in Parliament. I mean, for the first...
my reference to your mandate, sir.
Yes, I noticed that. And so we just got one more constituency, and so it takes us to 184, which is exactly 2/3 of Parliament.
And before we leave you, Ghana has hit a major milestone in heart care, performing its first ever cardiac ablation. The life-saving procedure treats dangerous irregular heartbeats and was once only done abroad. Now, a local and international team has brought it home, offering hope to thousands at risk of sudden cardiac arrest. Joy News' Stephen Mensah witnessed the historic operation and reports.
Amma, not her real name, a 32-year-old whose life has been shaped by a heart that beats out of rhythm. A short walk left her breathless, dizzy, and afraid. She did not know when her heart would give out. Today, inside the theater at the University of Ghana Medical Center, Amma becomes part of medical history. The first among a handful of Ghanaians to receive a cardiac ablation right here at home. It is a lifeline procedure. For years, patients with arrhythmias, a dangerous condition where the heart beats too fast, too slow, or irregularly, had only one option: fly abroad, spend tens of thousands of dollars, or wait for the obvious: death.
These people, it's not because of any particular risk factors or any particular lifestyle choices, but they're born with it. And usually, what is sort of quoted is that about 15% of the population is born with an additional wiring, and out of this 15%, a large percentage of them can end up having SVT.
But this week, that's changed. Ghana joined the League of Nations able to treat these silent heart threats with cardiac ablation, a minimally invasive procedure that uses heat or cold energy to destroy faulty electrical signals in the heart.
We try to use medicines first, but medicines can only go so far. So when medicines fail and don't take care of the whole problem, then catheter ablation provides a definitive treatment. First of all, it's not surgery because we don't actually cut or make an incision. We generate heat through the catheter, the ablation catheter, to damage that tissue and cause it to stop there fast.
It's a medical marvel, but one still far out of reach for most.
So there are only a limited number of places that we can do these types of procedures because you have to have a well-functioning cath lab, and the only two places really that have the kind of equipment and the kind of basic equipment on top of which we can add the other equipment that we're bringing at the current time at National Cardiothoracic Center at Kolebu, and then University of Ghana Medical Center.
And that's all we have for you on our desk this morning. We come again tomorrow. Till then, have a good day.